Is being recorded and or transcribed.
You're good to go whenever. There you go.
We'll call the meeting of the Plat Committee to order and start with Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. And we have roll call, please.
Ms. Stoller. Mr. Taylor.
Here.
Thank you. And Mr. Bigato.
Here. Next, we'll start with the election of officers. May I have a nomination?
I nominate Tony Bigato for, are the positions the president and the vice president, or is it the title
chair? And vice chair.
Okay, I nominate Tony Bigato as chair.
A second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Then we'll take nominations for vice chair.
I nominate Jason as vice chair.
I'll second the nomination for Jason Taylor as the vice chair. All in favor? Aye. Aye.
Aye.
Okay, thank you. Then moving on to approval of the minutes from January 27th, 2021. I know Selena wasn't on at that time, but I'll make a motion to approve.
I'll second that motion.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you.
Okay, moving on to our agenda today. For item A, it's PP 20-10 Iron Point. It's consideration of a primary plat for the Iron Point subdivision. The subdivision will consist of 51 single-family lots on 19.93 acres. The subject property is zoned PUD-R and is on the south side of 106th Street, east of Mollenkoff Road. Presentation?
Can you see that, Tony?
Yes.
Okay. For the record, Jesse Boschel with Planning and Zoning. The item before you is the Iron Point primary plat. This item went for rezone. It's been about a year and a half ago, prior to COVID, and was approved. It is 51 single-family lots on 19.93 acres. As you can see, it's to the east of Mollenkoff Road and south of 106th Street, and is next to the Windermere Golf Community. Just to give you a up close and personal view here, currently there are two homes here that will be eliminated once they come in for construction. Here's the plat. As I said, 51 lots. The subdivision meets all development standards as well as PUD standards set forth by the Iron Point PUD. The petitioner will be connecting to all major utilities and will have proper site access for fire and emergency and EMS. Because there are 51 lots, they are required by city code to have two access points for fire access. As such, as part of the rezone of the property, it was an agreement with city council that they do an emergency access only off of the cul-de-sac here in the southwest corner of Fairwoods Drive, rather than doing a full access point where the right-of-way exists. As such, Pulte will be installing a 12-foot wide asphalt path with a gate with a knock block with proper signage that states that this is emergency access only. And they will be maintaining as many trees as possible. That was we did receive public comment regarding the trees. As this is a matured area for trees, Due to the nature of what's going to be installed, the hope is that they can maintain as many as possible. There are some obstacles with a sewer easement, but the petitioner has all intent to maintain as many trees as possible, as well as continue to work with HSC Samco on the location of that sewer easement to try and maintain as many as possible. As such, because the plat meets all requirements, staff recommends approval.
Okay, thank you. The petitioner on the line.
Yes, Brett Huff and Rex Ramage and Dave Compton are all on the line. So,
Petitioner, did you want to add anything else?
No, I think Jesse did a great job of the overview of the project. We had another neighbor meeting with some of the folks again last night just to see if they had any other concerns, answered some of their basic questions, and look forward to your approval.
Okay, with that, we'll open the public hearing. If anyone here from the public to speak on this matter, you can step up to the podium and give your name and address for the record. Is anyone here to speak on this matter? Hello? Oh, can you turn there's a green light and push, Megan, help you. Just gotta make sure the mics are on.
Oh, thank you. Good evening. My name is Phil Bohr. I live at the corner of Fall Road and 10652 Fall Road. I am absolutely 100% supportive of this subdivision with one major exception, and that's the entrance to the subdivision off of 106th Street, being the fact that it's only around 150 feet from the Fall Road intersection. And my concern is and has been that someone turning south off of Fall Road onto 106th Street going west and deciding to turn in south into Iron Point won't have time to adequately signal their intentions for oncoming traffic up 106th Street westbound. And living out there for 38 years, I know that people drive at 50 miles an hour in a 40-mile-an-hour zone, and with the sun in their eyes in the evening going westbound, and the fact that the eastbound traffic is backed up, the person turning south off of 106th Street into Iron Point would have to stop and signal their turn and wait. And I'm afraid that some truck or heavy car or SUV is not going to see them turning until it's too late, and it'll be an accident. And I know the engineering committee last year said that there was ample line of sight on 106th Street, which is true under normal circumstances, but not for cars stopping 150 feet from the time they start and turn and going south into Iron Point. I'm concerned that it's not going to be adequate for that. And I've talked with the folks from Pulte, and apparently, originally they proposed having the entrance to Iron Point much further to the west, but it was deemed inappropriate by someone, and they changed it to where it is now. So that's my only concern and has been since last year. So
Okay, thank you.
thank you.
Anyone else here to speak on this item?
Hey, good evening. My name's Eric Reisenleiter. I am a resident of Sawgrass. Like Phil had said, there was some concern just about the safety, basically, of that entrance point. My question at this time would be, if this does not change, as far as the entrance for Iron Point, if that does not change, is there talk of a passing lane basically being put on the north side of 106th Street? Before the stoplight, correct. That's my question.
Okay, thank you. Is there anyone else here to speak on the matter? Seeing none, I'll close the public hearing. I do recall your letter that came up for the rezone, but I don't know if Jesse, you want to elaborate, or anyone from Pulte, you want to comment on that further?
Rex, I'll defer to you since I wasn't involved in the rezone process.
So yeah, the original entrance was proposed closer, further west. That is correct. As we continued to work through, the site layout process, we worked with the planning staff, the engineering staff, and then A&F Engineering was involved as well. And this was deemed the best location. Unfortunately, I don't have any more details than that. My associate Dave Compton and our engineer Brett Huff might have further details on that.
I know that A&F looked at it, and this was, as the city's longtime traffic engineer, they worked with city engineering and approved this, wanted the location on this part of the real estate for safety reasons. I think part of it had to do with the distance away from Mollenkoff intersection. So they decided it needed to go here, and then Brett, you may jump in. We've got some more than normal road improvements that we'll be doing between here and Fall Road, is my understanding.
And this is Megan Schaefer with the Planning and Zoning Department. So that is correct. When this was going through the rezone process, we did have A&F Engineering take a look at the entrance location, and the location shown on the plat today is the location that they recommended at that time. I will say the right-of-way improvements have not been finalized yet. Those are going to be finalized through the construction plan phase through TAC. We do have a memo from A&F Engineering on what they recommend, which is a right turn decel lane that's extended past the proposed access point and past Fall Road. But the north side improvements that you are talking about, that would really depend on land acquisition that we could get on the north side. And so that is really not something that we have control over, how much right-of-way we would have. But those final right-of-way improvements are going to be reviewed by our engineering department through the construction plan phase.
Okay, thank you.
Tony, I'll add that some of the justification as to why the engineering department wanted it to be closer to Fall Road versus closer to Mollenkoff is correct. We do want it further from the major intersection versus Fall Road. In addition, we felt it was imperative to have that dedicated right turn lane, and if we force that entrance to the west property line, there was not enough right-of-way to be able to obtain that decel lane and storage lane for the right turn. So that's why we did push it over to the eastern property line closer to Fall Road.
Okay. Well, with that, is there any comments by the Plat Committee? Again, I just want to verify, Jesse, as you said, this complies with all the standards in the PUD, right?
I'll have a question, Jesse, with that the last slide right there, that one, you had made a comment about the sanitary sewer easement, and I believe there's that tree preservation easement, in addition, making sure the emergency access drive is there. Were you saying that through the TAC process, it will be finalized where the sanitary easement will be placed such that it could possibly be the same location as the emergency drive access?
The intent right now, what they're showing, this is the latest. They have been working with Samco on that. This is a more direct line to the manhole rather than what they had originally proposed. So it could change, but right now it looks like this is probably going to be what it's going to be. We're just waiting to see what the final easement width is going to be so that we can see what we can do about trees being preserved, that sort of thing.
Okay. Thank you.
And yes, you're welcome. And yes, Tony, I'm sorry, I was muted. Yes, it does meet all PUD and development standard requirements.
Okay. So just from the public process, this did go through the rezone already, and when a primary plat complies with all the development standards of their PUD or the zoning ordinance, by law, we have to approve it. We're obligated to approve it. I know those comments we received on the rezone process, we did look at and address. And the trees has been another focal point. I was on the call, I think it was Tuesday night, Rex had a neighborhood meeting, and most of the conversation was around the trees, maintaining trees, a little bit about the sewer, because one of the residents was confused with the existing sewer line with the new sewer line, but overall, there was only comments about the trees, and again, we've done what we can through the PUD process to address those. So any other further comments, questions?
I have none. I'll make them, if there's no more questions or comments, I'll make a motion to approve as presented.
And we have a second by Selena. You can call for the vote.
Ms. Stoller? Mr. Taylor?
Yes.
Mr. Bagato?
Yes. Okay, moving on to item B. This is a vacation 20-3 of Mapledale Subdivision. HWC Engineering on behalf of J.C. Hart Company LLC requests consideration of a plat vacation for Mapledale Subdivision. The subdivision is located south of intersection of East 116th Street, consisting of 9.34 acres. And Ross will give the presentation.
Thank you. For the record, Ross Hillary, City Officials, Planning Staff here. Before you tonight is VAC 20-3, plat vacation for the Mapledale Subdivision.
Pardon, the Teams meeting is no longer seeing this screen.
Working on some technical stuff.
We'll have it in 1 second. Thank you.
Jason, can you see that?
Yes.
Perfect, thank you. So again, VAC 20-3, plat vacation for the Mapledale Subdivision. The Mapledale Subdivision is located near the intersection of Holland Drive and East 116th Street. The Mapledale Addition first section was recorded subdivision from 1958, and it consisted of a total of 14 lots. 2 lots within what we'd consider Mapledale are not included on that plat. Those are those 2 parcels there that are in that red dotted line. That is 8145 16th Street and 11435 Maple Drive. In October 2020, the City Council approved an economic development agreement with H.G. Hart Mapledale LLC for a $30 million multifamily project. The project consisted of approximately 191 units, including 3-story apartment building, 3-story townhomes, 2-story paired patio homes, and a clubhouse and pool, community gardens with garage parking, surface parking, and on-street parking. Before you right there is a copy of that petition to vacate that was provided in the documents tonight. The improvement location permit, primary plat, and secondary plat have all gone through the technical advisory committee process in January of 21. The site plan and architecture was approved by the Nickel Plate Review Committee in February, and the right-of-way of both Maple Drive and East 115th Street, as well as easements located within the development, were vacated at City Council on March 15th, 2021. Tonight, the petitioner, HWC Engineering, is seeking to have the plat vacated as presented, which will allow for the timely construction of the development before mentioned. The petition to vacate has been provided to the Plat Committee, and the entire subdivision is 100% under ownership by H.G. Hart Mapledale or their applicable acquisition division, and staff recommends approval of the vacation as presented.
Okay, thank you. Any questions of staff? Hearing none, the petitioner on the line, you want to add anything else?
No, I'm good. Thank you very much.
Okay. Thank you. What this is a public hearing, so at this time we'll open the public hearing for vacation 20-3. If there's anyone here to speak on this matter, come to the podium now. Seeing none, we'll close the public hearing and ask for comments or questions.
I do not have any.
I don't have any.
No comments or questions, then can we get a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve as presented.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
And aye. Motion carries 3-0. Moving on to item C, this is a minor subdivision, so this does not require a public hearing. The item is PP-21-2, Maple Dell Primary Plat. Again, HWC Engineering on behalf of J.C. Hart LLC. Request of consideration of a primary plat for Maple Dell Development. The property is located on the south of the intersection of Holland Drive and East 116th Street, consisting of 9.34 acres, and the property is zoned VC, Village Center of the Nickel Plate District. And Ross Hillary will give the report.
Thank you again, Ross Hillary, City of Fishers. This site will look very familiar. Before you tonight, PP 21-2. The Maple Dell development, as Tony said, is located near the intersection of Holland Drive and East 116th Street. It is shown here in the green. Under common ownership, the petitioner is seeking one lot for a total acreage of 9.34 acres. The right-of-way shown on this plat complies with the needs of the city, and there are no further commitments to be addressed from the city on the primary plat. Maple Dell and East 115th Street with utility easements were vacated again at council on March 15th. The new private road that will serve this development will be located at Holland Drive. This plat is in line with the objectives of the Fishers UDO and the Nickel Plate District Code where applicable. These parcels are zoned VC Village Center, as Tony said, and the future residential development of the new lots will meet the intentions and standards of the established zoning district. And staff recommends approval of the plat as presented as it meets all local and state requirements.
Okay, thank you. Any questions of staff? Hearing none, petitioner, did you want to add anything else?
No, I'm good again. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. And again, this is not a public hearing as a minor subdivision, so is there any questions from the committee?
None.
Okay, seeing no questions, can we get a motion?
Motion to approve.
We have a motion to approve by Selena.
Second by Jason.
Okay, call for the vote. All in favor?
Aye.
An aye. Motion carries 3-0. That's it with our regular agenda. There's nothing under old business, nothing under new business, anything for staff communication? Seeing none. Findings of fact, we'll take care of that. And can we get a motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn.
Second, Jason.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye.